Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung, two legends whose names echo through the world of martial arts. Their electric chemistry in Enter the Dragon thrilled fans everywhere. But what if I told you there was a real fight between them that few have ever heard about? A private clash of skill and power that happened away from cameras and the Hollywood spotlight. Today, we're diving into Bruce Lee's hidden fight with Bolo Yeung, a secret battle that stunned those lucky enough to witness it. What really went down, and who truly came out on top? Let's uncover the story. This fight didn't take place in a ring or on set, it started behind the scenes during the making of Enter the Dragon, one of the most iconic martial arts films ever made. Released in 1973, this movie became Bruce Lee's ultimate masterpiece, securing his status as a worldwide martial arts legend. But what most don't know is that an intense fight scene between Bruce and Bolo was planned, one that never made it to the final cut. Bruce Lee carefully designed this showdown to be a highlight of the film, not just a battle of fists, but a clash of martial arts philosophies, showcasing Bruce's famous Jeet Kune Do style against Bolo's raw strength. Bruce Lee stood for unmatched speed, precision, and adaptability. In contrast, Bolo Yeung brought sheer physical power and an intimidating presence, a perfect storm of styles that promised an unforgettable clash. But despite the build-up, things didn't go as planned. As production on Enter the Dragon moved forward, major changes were made by Warner Brothers that reshaped the film's direction. Bolo Yeung's role, originally much larger, was significantly scaled down. The epic fight Bruce had envisioned between the two was removed completely. Warner Brothers made this decision to streamline the story and tighten the narrative focus. Instead of splitting attention, they chose to center the plot on Bruce Lee's character and his final confrontation with the main villain, the mysterious and dangerous Han, played by Shi Qian. Han, a cold and calculating crime lord, was designed to represent everything Bruce's character stood against. His presence symbolized corruption, power, and evil, a perfect final opponent. That climactic battle between Bruce and Han became the emotional and physical peak of the entire movie. It was a final confrontation designed to leave audiences gripping their seats. Warner Brothers believed that introducing another major fight, especially one between Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung, could take away from the intensity and focus of the climactic showdown. They feared that too many high-stakes battles might lessen the impact of Bruce's ultimate face-off with Han, which they wanted to stand as the film's defining moment. But before we dive deeper into the hidden fight, let's rewind and explore where it all began, the origins of Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung. The Dragon and the Beast, how two legends were born. Long before they shared the screen in Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung were carving out their places in martial arts history, each following a very different path. Their contrasting upbringings, philosophies, and experiences shaped them into the legends we know today, setting the stage for a clash that martial arts fans still talk about. Bruce Lee's journey began in San Francisco, 1940, but it was in the streets of Hong Kong where his fighting spirit was truly forged. At just 14 years old, Bruce began his formal martial arts training under the legendary Wing Chun master, Yip Man. For Bruce, this wasn't just a pastime, it was a matter of survival. Hong Kong's streets were rough, and gangs were a constant threat. Bruce found himself in real fights from a young age, putting his skills to the test in raw, unscripted combat. These early encounters would become the foundation of his practical and explosive fighting philosophy. Bolo Yeung's path, in contrast, began in Guangzhou, China, where he was born in 1946. His rise to martial arts fame was shaped by a very different journey than Bruce Lee's. While Bruce challenged tradition, Bolo embraced it fully. From a young age, he trained in classical Chinese martial arts, dedicating himself with relentless discipline to mastering traditional forms and techniques. But everything changed when Bolo discovered something unexpected: bodybuilding. At the time, strength training was rare in China, but Bolo was instantly drawn to it. By fusing intense weight training with his martial arts background, he built a powerful and intimidating physique that would later become his signature. By the age of 20, Bolo had already claimed the title of Mr. Hong Kong in bodybuilding, a title he would hold for an incredible 10 years. While Bruce was revolutionizing martial arts in America and developing his own combat system, Jeet Kune Do, Bolo was using his unique blend of traditional martial arts and raw physical power to carve out a place for himself in Hong Kong cinema. Their paths, though different, were destined to collide. To truly understand the dynamics behind Bruce Lee's real fight with Bolo Yeung, we need to take a closer look at what made these two legends so different, and so compelling. Their unique attributes and fighting styles weren't just about how they looked, they reflected two completely different philosophies of combat. Bruce and Bolo approached martial arts from opposite ends of the spectrum, each bringing a distinct mindset, physicality, and strategy to the fight. These differences weren't just cosmetic, they shaped how each man moved, thought, and fought. And when those worlds collided, it created a clash unlike anything seen on screen. Bruce Lee's approach to combat was all about control, not just of the body, but of the mind. He believed in staying one step ahead of his opponent, using speed, precision, and adaptability to dominate the fight from every angle. Bolo Yeung, on the other hand, relied on brute force. His strategy was simple but powerful: close the distance fast, apply overwhelming strength, and end the fight before it dragged on. This method was devastating in short bursts, especially against less prepared opponents. But Bolo's massive, muscular frame came with a cost. Maintaining that level of physical power required serious energy, which meant fatigue could set in during a longer, drawn-out battle. And that became a key factor during his sparring session with Bruce Lee on the set of Enter the Dragon, where stamina, not just strength, ultimately made the difference. On the set of Enter the Dragon, something unexpected happened. After their planned fight scene was cut from the film, Bolo Yeung made a bold move. He challenged Bruce Lee to a real sparring match. Bruce accepted without hesitation. This wouldn't be a choreographed movie fight filled with rehearsed moves and dramatic pauses. They stepped into the ring not as actors, but as true martial artists, ready to test their skills without a script. Bruce, always the tactician, took control early. Using his trademark speed and agility, he set the pace. He landed quick, sharp strikes before Bolo could react. This was classic Jeet Kune Do, no fixed patterns, no rigid technique. His strategy was clear: wear Bolo down through speed, timing, and relentless pressure. Bolo, on the other hand, leaned into what made him dangerous: raw, explosive power. His approach was simple but lethal: close the gap and end the fight with sheer force. His strikes were heavy, brutal, and meant to shut Bruce down with one decisive blow. But Bruce didn't give him the chance. Every time Bolo advanced, Bruce would slip, counter, and retreat. As the match wore on, the difference in their conditioning began to show. Bruce's lean, efficient build allowed him to maintain his speed without burning out. Bolo's massive frame, though impressive, started working against him. The energy required to carry all that muscle was draining fast. By the 10-minute mark, the effects were visible. Bolo's breathing grew heavier. His movements slowed. The powerful strikes that once looked like fight-ending blows became sluggish and easier to read. Meanwhile, Bruce looked as if he was just getting started. His attacks remained sharp and precise. His energy never wavered. Sensing his moment, Bruce turned up the pressure, launching rapid combinations, forcing Bolo onto the defensive. His endurance, built from countless hours of functional training, gave him the edge. To Bolo's credit, he didn't quit. He kept swinging, kept pushing, refusing to go down easily. His toughness and fighting spirit were undeniable. But the toll was clear. Every time he tried to mount a comeback, Bruce shut him down with a flurry of perfectly timed counters. The match had turned into a test of will, and Bruce had the upper hand. In the end, Bolo had no choice but to concede. The fight was over.